require my assistance?
Change your mind. I have no time for drills.
Require my assistance? Who am I? Greetings, traveler.
Hello and welcome, everybody. We are back again with Tavern Talk, starting out the new season. We got a couple of new faces here. This season, I'm going to be joined by DeSharmo. You can see to my right. And joining us today as guests, we have Obviously and Blue Sombrero. Say hi, everybody.
Ooh.
Yo.
So this season, Tavern Talk is going to be a little bit different. We're going to have DeSharmo and I, as well as usually a third host that might be rotating between Mako and Turd Herder. So we'll see probably one of them next week. And then every other week they'll be rotating. And then we'll have a guest with us. So get excited for that. And yeah, I mean, we're ready to go. Let's jump in here. Yeah, so we had a little bit of a preview about the top four at the reveal stream. I know myself, Mako, Don't and Kel all gave our top four in each division. So we have theirs here as well as mine, but we've got the other hosts today joining us with their top four. So let's take a look, and you guys maybe tell me about your top four. It does seem like we have some agreements here, but a couple of differences. So what do you guys think?
Yeah, so I put Roundtable in first. It just seems like a really strong squad, a lot of really good players in each of their seeds. And I put us second, no bias, but the Wet Boys, definitely the second best team. I put Pod People in third. They're also a very strong team. A lot of like returning members, not a ton of like super standouts, but just everyone seems very solid in their seed, and all of the people have like performed very consistently in those seeds in the past. Pretty much above 50% win rates in all the past seasons. And then I put I put a Bejas in fourth. So I will see how it works out. I'm not quite as confident in a Bejas as some of the other people here, but I still like a lot of the players on that team. Very good players. I just think there's a few people who are kind of playing out of the seeds they have been comfortable in previously, so we'll see how it works out.
Yeah, absolutely. It does look like DeSharmo and myself have agreed. Blue, you have Roundtable, Bayhouse, and Wet Boys like the rest of us, but you have Prep there, or you have Pod, sorry, over Prep, which DeSharmo and I had put. So you want to tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, so when I was looking over at the rosters, I noticed Pod People swapped out Mojo Powell, who they've pretty much always had, for a new 3 seed, who has a lot higher PR. Wicked Good has like 423, so Pod People now look like a really strong threat. R Hat in the 1, he's a very, very strong player. Zeroshio has always been good in the 2. I'm excited to see the new 3 seed, Wicked Good, and then Crackshot and Dire Spare are also good players. I know Dire Spare plays in like a lot of open cups, and he has like a lot of experience with the format. So
Yeah.
I just think Pod People like deserves a they deserve recognition for their new lineup. And then the other three teams I have there, Avi agrees with me. They're just three strong rosters that it's hard to see them fail.
Yeah, Wicked Good is like a really good player. I know he played in pro 1 week last season, at least 1 week. I'm not sure
Would
if he
you
played
say
more,
he's
but I know he's up.
wicked
And
good?
like, yeah, and he but he's worked on like the NPH meta report some, and I just know like he's really engaged with what's going on right now, and I think that's like a huge asset because I know a lot of people are starting to drift away from Hearthstone as like ladder doesn't matter as much, and I know a lot of the really good players in THL haven't been playing as much recently, and seeing somebody who's both very engaged and has like played quite high in the ladder and plays in quite a few tournaments seems like a very good addition to the team.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. So, I mean, definitely we have, it seems like 5 different teams that were in consensus are the top 5 in gold. But that does not count out the other 2 teams that aren't on here. There's a new coming team with the Vandegrift Esports, which is a high school team. I did have Doomsday on my legacy team last year as our 5 seed. He did a really good job. He brought that team together, I think, from his school. So definitely have that connection. I know people were talking a little bit about that connection with the Asa dudes or whatever it was, the Asa whatever team. I think that's in Hero, but they're also a high school team. People were saying that their connection could help. So the same could be said for Vandegrift Esports. So we could see them kind of making some leeway. And then we also have Destubs, which none of us except for I believe Don't Day during the stream believed in, but they did win 2 years ago. So they are a different team than they were then, but they did add Shim Jim and a couple of other players. So definitely potential there.
The Stubbs is a team I tend to underrate a lot. I notice, like, I always think their roster looks weaker coming into the season, and they all surprise me by doing well. So I've learned not to count them out as a team for sure.
Yeah,
I think the 2 teams to watch out for in Gold Conference is going to be the Round Table and Wet Boys. I think
I
both of
agree.
those teams are really top notch. Lotus Knight and Itachi at 1 and 2, and then Aviously and Daravis at 1 and 2 on the Wet Boys. Those are just ridiculously top 2. And then you start looking at the rest of them. Like Roundtable has Apex Predator, Super Murloc, and Carpet Talon. All 3 of those players were like, I believe like just amazing players in their position. And I believe 2 of them or one of them was an all-star a couple years ago. So I mean, just some really good players. I know in the Wet Boys, Jr. I played with on Jr. He's definitely capable in the 3 seed. And Matty Ebbs, I played against him too. He's a steal at 4 with his PR. He's not a 224. That does not reflect his play style. He can beat anybody 400 or higher. And then Quirky Turtle played a little bit last season. I know I believe she's Super Murloc's spouse or something. But
Yes, correct. Yeah.
it's kind of funny that
Yeah.
the 2 top teams are husband and wife. So
Yeah, we'll
that's
see
pretty
which
cool.
one comes out on top here
Dude,
in
you
this
want to
season.
talk about our team at all? I have some things I want to say.
Yeah, so Wet Boys kind of went over an almost complete overhaul. We only have one player returning from last season. That's Jugger in the 3. I think he originally started in the 2 last season, so having him in the 3 is super solid. Also, like what was just said, Matty Ebbs, definitely stronger than an average 4 seed. I think he's gonna pull in a lot of wins for the team. Um, we have Avi, of course, in the 1, and then Daravis we kind of got last second because his whole team fizzled, and we were able to pick him up. And I'm personally excited to not have to commit all my time to THL
Mhm.
for a bit because I've been playing 2 years nonstop and I need a bit of a break. So I'm excited to just sit back and just kind of run things from the sidelines. And we
Yeah.
also picked up Quirky for the 5 seed, and I'm pretty excited to have her in. I love having just players I haven't played with before, and she seems like she's super eager to learn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not a bad last minute pickup there with Daravis. And definitely the team looks strong. How about the Red Conference? It does look like again, we have a lot of similarities. I think most of us have Dad Legend and SPG. And then Tap Blast for the most part, except for Kel, but I think he wanted Misfits in the top 4, so he kicked them out. And then it does look like we differ a little bit on the fours. Some of us have Hearthstone and Chill, and the others have Dirty Mike and the Boys. Actually, both Desharmo and Blue have Dirty Mike and the Boys over Hearthstone and Chill, so kind of want to hear your take there on those.
Well, I mean, you just because Dirty Mike and the boys last season was just a real strong team, and they're bringing back a lot of the same players, and I'm looking at Lefty 2-1-1-1 in the 5 seed. Are you kidding me? Him playing in the 5 seed? Like that is ridiculous. Like he is a 1 seed type of player, maybe 2 seed type of player playing in the 5 seed. Brushy Tuna is on my Pro Series team. He's definitely a strong player. And Tony and Serlos both. I mean, it's a great team. I wouldn't if they got first place in this division. I wouldn't be surprised.
My look at DMB is there's a lot of players who have kind of consistently been overseeded in that team. They like to build their team a little bit more middle and bottom heavy. Tony ends up picking up the 1 seed quite a bit, where he's just like he's not bad in the 1 seed, but he tends to be a little bit weaker than other 1 seeds, and he's been losing a little bit of PR each season. And then Sir, I knew that he was kind of dipping in the amount of Hearthstone he played. I'm not really sure where he is now, but there's a lot of people on that team who just seem like a little bit pushed up in the seed. But then you look down and you see Lefty at the 5 seed, and that's just like ridiculous. And if anything's going to carry that team, it's going to be Lefty moving up the seeds and letting people play in seeds where they're more comfortable. I wouldn't be surprised to see Lefty in the 3 seed or something. He's definitely going to gain a lot of PR this season, at least.
Yeah, definitely a big butt down there. It does. I do know that like in the lower seeds, you do gain PR a little bit slower. So, especially when your PR is like that. So hopefully, he keeps getting those wins, and we see that shift, and it could definitely affect their team. We could see them making it. Other than that, it does look like we're in agreement with Dad Legend, with Serenite Pain Gang. I mean, they made it all the way to the finals last season, and then Tap Last. I mean, Desharmo, you in the 4. I think that happened last season too. It's just ridiculous. So.
And I was like 7-4 last season, so it wasn't like I didn't start in the 4. I ended in the 3, but still, still was able to get in the 4 again. I don't know how it happened.
They managed to fit you in there, so can't really complain there. And already off to a good start, as we'll maybe talk about later. Any other thoughts on the Red Conference?
I just want to put it out there. Dad Legend and Serenite Pain Gang, talk about like using your PR. They're both like right up against that 1800 mark. I think Pain Gang literally is 1800 PR. So it's like it's insane that they managed to fit all those players on the same team with both of those rosters.
Yeah, I didn't quite do the math there, but I was wondering if Donde maybe shifted some PRs a little bit just to get that perfect number. I know we're very close as well, so I can't really complain. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this season. We'll see how things play out. All right, let's jump here straight into our tier list. So we're doing something new this season. We're gonna have our guests do their own tier list so they can defend why they put people where they are. People can actually have someone to be upset at if they don't like where they are. So blame them if you don't like it. And we'll start with obviously
And their
here.
name is right up there too.
Oh yeah. So you know.
Oh, yeah. Hold on, I got something extra up there.
Yeah, so you know who to get mad at when you see
There
that
we go,
tier
get rid
list
of
that you
that.
disagree with. Yeah, so like I was saying, Dad Legend and Serenite Pain Gang, like I don't even know how those 5 players on the team for both of them. It's just like absolutely ridiculous. Like what Dad Legend's got you in the 3 seed, right, Mayanada? Or 4 seed? Wait,
In the 3.
no, 3 seed, 3 seed.
Yeah, we got Starlax in the 4. Yeah.
And then like Anasaib and Yellow Dart. I think Yellow Dart's the only one who really seems overseeded to me, but he's a very good player. Like I wouldn't be surprised to see him do well in the 2 seed. He's just the only person on that team where I look at him and say, oh, I haven't like seen him in that seed recently. And then holy crap, Serenite Pain Gang is just like they have Cole's Donde Freeloader as their 1, 2, 3. What like where are we? How did this happen? I do think they're a little bit less powerful than Dead Legend, just because I've not like Dark Seed seems fine in the 4, but like their 4 and 5 seed just aren't quite as exciting as it looks for Dead Legend, so that's why I place them a little bit lower. And then so far as the A tier goes, Roundtable, like I said, a really solid team, very good roster. Like not quite as impressive as these Red Series teams, mostly just because like I think that they have a lot of good players, but like there's a lot of people playing in seeds that I would expect for them, and not as many people who are just kind of smurfing in the lower seeds. And then a similar thing for Wet Boys and Pod People. Like Wet Boys definitely has a little bit more of a top heavy structure, but I mean, a lot of it's going to depend on how well Matty Ebbs and Quirky Turtle can pick it up. You know, obviously our 1, 2, and 3 still have to perform. But I have some confidence in Quirky. I feel like she's been playing a lot more Hearthstone than she was before last season, and she just like kind of just jumped in there. So I think that she can do well this season, but we'll have to see how it works out. And then the Pod People is also just like a very strong team, just a lot of really good players in every seed. And I know I already talked about how good they are, so I won't waste your time. In the B tier, we have Tap Last, Abejas, Hearthstone and Chill, and DMB. Just a lot of like solid rosters. DMB kind of like were just outside the top 4 for me for Red. I think it's pretty close. There's the 2 teams that are just far and away the best, and then Tap Last, Hearthstone and Chill, and DMB are kind of all fighting in the B tier for me. I think they're all solid teams, but not like anything incredibly standout insane. And then Abejas, like I said, quite a strong team, but I'm not 100% confident that all of their players are going to crush it in their seeds where I'm at. And then the Stubs, because I always underestimate them. And honestly, I don't like their team doesn't look insane to me, but if there's anyone who can pull together a team and just make it work, I mean, they have Shim Jim in the 1, which is great, and the Chronic's a great player, although I don't know if he's played much in the 3 seed before. And like, if there's anyone who can pull a team together and just make them crush it, it's Osmonaut. I don't know what his special sauce is, but that's their logo.
It's the
that's
Stub,
a special
yeah.
sauce.
The Stubs
Yeah,
barbecue sauce.
They
that's
just
some good
chug
barbecue sauce too. You ever try
barbecue
it?
sauce, and that's how they gain their power, maybe. But there's something about it. And then prep is for Rogues Not Pilots is just a lot of solid players. I'm not super confident in them as a team, but we'll see how they do. And a Noyo team, similar type of thing. Like there's some decent players on the team, but I'm just not really sure how they're going to perform. Not a roster that I looked at it and was super wowed by, I guess. And then Misfits, really like the last 2 teams I have down there just because they're really not using their PR super well, and it kind of scares me. Like they have a lot of PR to spare, and I don't feel like it's for a good reason. Like I don't see a lot of super under PR players. It's hard to know with Vandegraaff Esports. Like maybe all the players are very good. Definitely when you're in high school, you have a lot of room to improve at Hearthstone very quickly, depending on how much time you put into it.
Speaking from
So
experience.
We'll see. Yeah, no, I definitely know a lot of people who like went from playing at rank 10 in high school to like a month later they were at Legend playing at a super high level. It's just you have a lot of free time when you're in high school, and we'll see how it works out for them. But it's hard to rate them much higher than that when they have very few players who've really like performed on ladder or in tournaments before.
Yeah, absolutely.
I could tell you guys about the Anoyo team. I know every single one of those players was pretty much like a reskinned Hero Power Rangers team from the past. And actually, it turns out all of these players were in the Dill's Hearthstone, the L word that I'm not going to say because every time I say it, everyone gets me,
The Hearthstone series.
Yeah,
Hearthstone.
Dill's Hearthstone Legends. They're all from there, and I wouldn't underestimate this team. I know, Dad Lenson's already kind of took a 4-1 lead, but they're all solid players. All of them have played and gone far in in his Legends series. So that's very good. And Vandegrift, I don't know, man. I don't know if they're F because I don't know. I
Yeah, they're a big question mark.
yeah. I don't know. I don't know if I would put them in F just because I don't know. You know.
Mhm. Definitely. I wouldn't be surprised to see them step it up. It's kind of an F with a question mark after it, and
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe some exclamation point.
Yeah, they
There
have,
it is.
they can strategize at school.
Yeah.
We don't really have that luxury. The rest of the teams, we don't see each
Also,
other on the daily basis. So
of note, their 1 seed Gamer Panda is a teacher at the school, which I think is super cool.
that's
So
awesome.
I
Yeah.
just wanted to put that out there. I wish I had a teacher who went by Gamer Panda online and played Hearthstone.
I mean, I'm a teacher. I wish I had students that played Hearthstone.
Same with Mako, right? No, none of his students play Hearthstone.
And didn't he knows like Snake in them, I thought, from his school or in some way. I don't know if he teaches them. I thought that's how he knew that squad there. That's Assad dude or whatever that team is.
Mhm.
That's in Hero though, so we won't talk too much about
Yeah.
that. But yeah, awesome. Yeah, no, I like these rankings. Let's see how they compare to Blues.
Yeah. Okay. So, I've got SPG in the S tier also. They just look like super insanely stacked. They made it to the finals last season. They switched out their 5 seed, and that's the only change they made.
Mhm.
I don't know if it's a downgrade, an upgrade, or just neutral, but I see no way in which they aren't just super strong playoff contenders. And then I have Abejas as the other S tier team. I think their team just looks insane. Like no one looks weak in their seed at all. Snake has been consistently good in the 1 seed. Booze also has been in the 1 seed before, and he's playing in the 2, so that's super strong there. Mako in the 3 has also always been super strong. Ghost, I think, has split between 4 and 5, but I think majority 4, and he just like a 350 PR 4 seed is really strong. And then Silver Fox in the 5, I would, if I had to call a weak point in the team, it would be that, but it doesn't even look that bad. Like 150 PR in a 5 seed is pretty good. I think he's a new player, so if the rest of the team can really just help him figure out the meta, figure out what works in Legacy this season, Abejas is just gonna totally dominate the conference.
I feel like I can see Avi shaking with disagreement here.
Well, I will say, I think one thing that I may have underestimated when I was looking at the team is I forgot about how good Ghost is. I think he played in the 4 seed for All Stars last season, and I just remembered that like I keep seeing him in tournaments and on ladder, so I know he's playing like a lot of Hearthstone. Like I just run into him when I play Hearthstone. I swear I played against him like 4 times, and I know it's not like some other person named Ghost in Hearthstone because I add him afterwards. And I'm like, oh, are you the Ghost from THL? And he's like, yeah. And then like unadds me. Then I add him again the next time. So I know he's playing a lot of Hearthstone.
Why can't you just
He's the
keep him
main
on
thing.
your friends list, man?
I don't know.
What the-
He deletes me from his friends list.
Oh,
I think.
yeah.
He's like, who's this obviously guy? I don't
Get
know.
this scrub out of here.
Yeah, but I think he's probably quite good in the 4 seed. And I may have forgotten about some of that when I was rating the team.
Yeah, well, they look super strong. And then okay, so moving on to A, I've got 2 teams from each conference. I've got Dad Legend and Tap Blast from Red. We've pretty much gone over why those teams are super strong. Like Dad Legend just has a stacked roster. I guess I think I have them in A because I don't think they really match up too well against Sarah Night Pain Gang. So I think if they're not going to be able to be confident and win there, then FPG
Where do you think we don't match up? I want to hear this.
All right, let's look at that. So, I think I just think SPG has such a strong 1-2-3, and Dad Legend does too, but Dad Legend has a bit more strength in the 4-5. And so if I had to match them up, I would probably say SPG takes 1-2-3, whereas
Wow.
Dad Legend takes 4-5.
I've beaten their 1-2 a couple times already, and I have never played Freeloader, but he has me on his pro team because he doesn't want to play. So I think I could take their 1-2-3. And
Yeah,
if
I
I can take them, I think Zabe can definitely take them, and Yellow Dart as well. I think we're evenly matched across the top three, and it comes down to the bottom two, and I think we win there.
For me, the tiebreaker came down to Myanodon versus Freeloader, and I think that the PR save from Myanodon being lower PR, like ridiculously low PR in Legacy for some reason, is like part of how this roster got to be so insane. It's just like I don't know why you're in the 300s, but you are. So that definitely helps when you're building a team. Just have
It does. I think it is close, but I feel like Sarah Knight does take it more than they don't. So for that reason, I have you guys at the top of A, but
well,
not
they're
necessarily
both
making
in
the
the
cut.
red conference. We'll have to
I
see
think-
how it plays out when they play each other.
Yeah, no, that's like probably the match I'm most excited for in the season.
Yeah, I was
between
just
that-
checking one. That's
that
week
seems
3.
like the biggest powerhouse.
Oh, you're gonna.
That's week 3, so get ready for
That's
it.
gonna be
Yeah.
a previewed match on Tavern Talk for sure.
Yeah, and then I think the 3 teams of Wet Boys, Roundtable, and a Bayhouse, I think those matchups are going to be really
Yeah,
exciting
for
too. Those seems like
Yeah.
teams people are excited about in Gold.
Yeah. And then top last, I think Triss is really strong in the 1, and I think Triss having kind of low PR really helps the team set up such the strong roster they have. Base, Bass,
base.
Base in the 2 is like, I think Base is like belongs in the 2 seed. I think he's just like a solid 2 seed. It's nothing insane, but it's definitely good. Icicles, I don't know about. Ducharme on the 4 obviously is just nuts. I had that last season. It worked very well. So it will for top last for sure. And it looks like he might move up to the 3 any week. And then Volkai in the 5. The PR kind of drops off there, but still he already swept his match. Like I don't really see a strong or a standout weak point in this team. So I think they look really set for playoffs. And then for gold, I have Roundtable next. Again, just like a super solid roster. Like Lotus Knight and Itachi in the 1-2 is really strong. Probably one of the best 1-2s in the whole series this season. Apex in the 3 is also really good. I think he's played in the 1 seed a bunch before and hasn't done so horribly there. So I think that's also something to look out for. And then Super Marlock in the 4 kind of has low PR there. So that is likely a weak point that will, make or break Roundtable. And then Coppertown in the 5 is also absurdly strong. So they're close to being the perfect team, but I think they can slide some losses in there. So I don't quite have them in S. And then there's my team, Wet Boys. Same sort of deal. We just have solid players in each seed. Derivis in the 2 is probably what I'd say is the strongest point in our team because he went 9-10-0 in pro last season or something.
Yeah, he was undefeated in pro, I believe. So
I'm gonna say I love Derivis. He's really good, and he's probably gonna go. We have a really good record, but he was playing specialist, so I'm just gonna point that out.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a whole different format, legacy than specialist. So we will have to see how he performs over the course of a season. But in the 2 seed for a consistent top legend player, that's definitely scary.
100%.
And then Jugger in the 3 obviously is strong. Maddie in the 4 is pretty strong too. And then Quirky in the 5, we're gonna kind of have to, because she's a newer player, so we're gonna have to kind of shape her and kind of mentor her along. And I think it's gonna work well. So I have us up in A.
And she seems like a really good, like person who's really willing to learn and get better
Yeah,
and stuff. So
totally.
that's really good. If you get somebody like a clean slate like that, that's always good on a team.
Yeah, exactly. I just love working with that.
I kind of hope that Super Murloc loses and Copper Talon wins, and when they play each other, it's Super Murloc versus
Yeah.
Super Turtle.
Cool. It might happen too.
It could happen.
That
It could
needs to be
happen.
on. That needs to be on stream too.
Yeah.
Like with live cams and
Yeah.
everything.
Live.
Just one
live
camera,
domestic
they play
abuse.
across from each other.
I love this. I love this stuff in the DHL when we get.
Yeah. I
Things
think
like
that
Hit
that.
him
actually
with the
happened.
purple, where you ask them what cards are in their hand.
I
Gauge
think
your
last
reaction.
season, when RC was on my hero team, and they played Mistel. Yeah. So it'd be pretty cool if that happened to my team a second time.
Oh wow, that's week 2, so it has to happen. It has to happen
Oh,
this
happens
week.
to
That's
So,
happened quick.
Wow.
Copper
so we
Talon,
need.
you better win.
You better
And
win in
Super
Super
Murloc,
Murloc.
you better get hard swapped.
It could happen. Anything could happen.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Sorry, I don't wish anyone to lose, but I do wish that you lose Super Murloc this week.
Didn't
And
Copper
something
Talon
I
go
wanted-
undefeated in the 5 seed 2 seasons ago?
Oh, Copper Talon is great in the 5. That's one
Yeah.
of the things that I think is very
Like
good about
the 1, the 2, and the 5 for the round table are just ridiculous.
Yeah. Oh,
Just
and one of the
ridiculous.
things I wanted to put out there about Red, Legacy Red, is if you've looked at the 4 seeds, there's like a tier of 4 seeds who are just like absolutely crazy, like players who could be in the
Yeah.
1 seed. And then there's a tier of like normal 4 seeds, and it's gonna be so like sad for like the 200 PR like normal 4 seeds who are just playing against Megalodon and then play against Freeloader and then play against Jarbo. It's just like,
Dude, and
give
not
him a break.
and
Or not Megalodon, Starlax.
and Anful too. Anful is like in the 4
Oh yeah,
seed as
and
well,
Anful's
dude.
like
Dude,
really good.
Handful,
There's so many.
Starlax, yeah.
I was pointing that out earlier. I think there's a lot of in my conference, a lot of great.
Oh, and
Even Mad at Arms, dude, in the 4
sorry,
seed.
Freeloader is one of the ones in 32. I just threw him in there. Disregard me. But there were some really good 4 seeds when I was looking through it.
Oh yeah. And Lefty in the 5 even.
Yeah,
Oh,
dude,
yeah, the
holy
lefties.
crap.
Well, and Icy Finny in the 4 is so ridiculous. Like that guy's just been killing it in the 5 seed, so I'm sure it'll be great in the 4 too. Like he's been
Yeah.
absolutely decimating everyone else, so like there's no way he's bad in the 4 seed. Although he is a tough field.
And he's probably gonna switch with Lefty pretty fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's possible. We'll see.
'Cause
It
Definitely
depends. I
possible.
think a lot of who ends up in the 4 and who ends up in the 5 on that team will end up on like what weeks they happen to be in the 4 and 5 and who they have to play against. Like
Yeah.
one of them might get matched up against like Starlax and Ducharmo, and the other one might just be playing against, Mike V and I don't know. I guess that and Darkseed and Man at Arms are like the weaker 4 seeds. That's so ridiculous. I can't believe I'm saying that. They're both very good 4 seeds.
Yeah. All right, where are we? Okay, B tier. Starting us off, we have Dirty Mike and the boys. I guess we're kind of just talking about them, but their 4 and 5 are just insane. Like, I think especially when Lefty and Icy Finny switch, the team becomes a lot stronger. Because I think the significance of Icy in the 5 is more than Lefty in the 5, because Lefty can stomp the 4 and 5 just the same. Whereas Icy, who has traditionally only been in the 4 and 5, will have a much easier time in the 5. But then I think the top 3, Tony, Serlos, and Brushy, they don't really stand out to me as being able to dominate the rest of the conference when you have 1 to 3s like Dad Legends and Serenite Pain Gangs and things like that. So I am a little worried about their top side, but their bottom 2 players will probably get a win or 2 wins almost
I hope
every
you're not
week.
getting arrested, man.
No, I hope that's not me either.
Not one of them SWAT calls.
Did you
The
steal
boys in
from
blue
the
I
are
think-
coming for
delivery guy?
blue.
Yeah, I don't think they like materialists, man.
They're calling you on your tier list.
Yeah, they're after you.
Oh,
No, you
Um,
stole their color, Blue Sombrero. They're like, oh no.
That's the Nestle
Where's the
company
boys in
coming to
blue?
get you.
I know.
all right,
Alright.
give me your like 10 to 15 seconds. Last like thoughts on the rest of the team, so we can jump to
Yeah, sure.
the conference stuff.
So, pod people, I went over in my top 4. They look a lot stronger this season with their new 3 seed. So, I'm expecting them to probably get like the 4th seed in the playoffs. And then Prep is like right behind them. They have a pretty similar roster to last season, but I feel like Force of Will, Saku, and Icon in the bottom 3 aren't insanely strong. So
And they don't prep.
I think it's going to be tough for them to take most of the weeks. So I have them like just, almost making playoffs, but not quite. And then C tier Anoyo team. Again, nothing really strikes me as super strong about this team. I also don't know most of the players. They kind of have a old school Dirty Mike and the boys kind of lineup. Like their 1 seed is only 100 PR higher than their 5 seed, and usually that works. So I could totally just see this team just stomping, but I could also see them not doing so well. HS and Chill. Um, Again, I think Catman in the 3 is super strong, but Shadow Ranger, like and Pond, kind of just like belong in their seeds, and I don't know if they're really going to be able to just pull out super strong seasons. And kind of, I don't know about their 4 seed. It's me, Mike, but like we were saying in red with all these strong 4 seeds, I don't think he's really gonna get a great season. And then same with Jim when we have 5 seeds like Lefty and Copper Talent in
Yeah.
the conference. Okay, and then Stubbs, I think Osmonaut and Chronic as their 2 and 3 just seems super weak to me because those players have mostly been in the 4 and 5. So I am worried there. I just don't think their roster is that strong this time around. So I have them in C. My only team in D tier is Misfits. It looks like they just don't really have max PR for their team. And like they just look they look like an average team, and average teams don't do well because it's only the super insane teams that do well. And since there are so many of them, I don't think Misfits really has too much hope this season. And then same goes for Vandegrift and Gold. I didn't actually know that they were all in high school together, so that definitely gives them a little boost. But they really just don't have much PR to work with. Like a 1 seed at 375 just isn't good at all. And then that trend just kind of continues as they go down their roster. So I just don't see them being able to make the playoffs.
All right. Well, those are the rankings from both obviously and Blue here. I think we can post those in the Discord or something later, so everyone can kind of review them and DM them if they have any
So,
issues.
so brushy too. They can DM us both and complain about being in B tier.
Absolutely, that's what we're looking for here on Tavern Talk.
Put the
And
guests on
now,
fire.
yeah,
Yeah,
we want people to want to come on. Have a little drama.
yeah, come at me. My tier list may suck. We will see.
Hey, we'll see. It might age well. It might not. We'll find out. All right, and now before we jump into the week 1 preview, where we have 2 matches from each conference, and then we also have the cross-conference highlight match we're going to talk about as well, since we are doing that every week. One team in each conference will be playing each other, so we'll be looking at that. Desharma, you want to take the commercial break? You want to take it away?
Sure. I gotta pull it up. Do you want to do it? Because I don't have it up.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Okay,
sorry,
so
man.
yeah, I mean, you're watching us here at twitch.tv/Team Hearth Legends. Please consider subscribing. It lets us at the team here cover like the various costs of operating the website and improving the quality of streams and content and everything. So if you have Amazon Prime, Twitch Prime, you can sub for free. And if you do subscribe, you'll get a THL emoticon as well as a lovely THL chat badge. So
Okay.
hit the heart button, keep up the notifications, make sure you catch all of our broadcasting. We do Tavern Talk every week at this time. And then we have 2 other great shows weekly. And then, Friday, Saturday, Sundays, we sometimes have matches as well that we show. So keep an eye out for those. And then follow us on our other stuff. We have, the website teamhearthlegends.com. We have a Twitter at THL_HS. And please, join the Discord, Team Hearth Legends as well, where
I do.
we, interact.
I do have to say that you got a handsome individual of my Anodon, and then myself to make him look better next to you. So you do have some eye candy to look at, and a
And then
little
you
bit of a
can,
buffer to make it look a little bit better.
and if you miss a stream, pop onto the Twitch and hit that videos button, and you can see the past streams that you missed. And if you think they were boring, you can even watch them on 2 times speed. But
Yeah.
there's so much content around THL that you should be able to find something that you enjoy watching.
We just got to get the rest of the crew to grow a beard.
Yeah.
I think it's a
I
couple
don't
more
know,
years
man.
for Avi.
I don't think my beard does not look great. If
Yeah,
I grow it out,
it took me a while to
we're
grow
not
my
going
beard.
for that right now.
This is a year's worth of growth right here, like not trimming. So I have a baby face too. So I know how you feel. Madadon grows a beard in like one day, right?
Yeah, it doesn't take too long, but
Yeah.
you got to keep it clean. A little
Yeah.
trimming stuff.
See, mine's not,
Um,
dude. I just let mine grow. I just like
I
who
used to
cares?
do that. It gets big, so I like to be a little bit cleaner these days.
I
But
gotta
no,
make you
I
look
mean
good.
your beard looks great too, man. I definitely appreciate a nice beard. Um, sorry, Avi. And I don't know if Blue has a beard, but if he does, I'm sure it looks wonderful. And if he doesn't, try it out sometime.
It
Um,
doesn't work when I try it. I'm 16.
well, yeah,
Blue's
give
even
it
younger
give it a
than
couple
me.
more years. Believe it or not, when I was 16, it did not come in as nicely as this. I actually, in college, is when it started a little bit, and I was in a fraternity, and I had to grow out a mustache. So imagine that a
Oh,
little
I
bit.
want to see a picture of that.
I'm sure I could find some. I've also done like Movember and stuff in the
Oh, that's
past.
cool.
Now that I have a beard, though, I don't want to shave everything just to grow out the mustache. Maybe I'll do it again someday. But anyway, let's jump here into the different conferences. We have a couple of highlight matches. Let's start with the gold. And our first match here is Pod People versus Prep.
And we already got one match resolved already.
Yeah.
Arhat took it 3-0 over Fuel.
And Icon with all 288 of his PR is stepping in the 3 seed for. That's a spicy substitution.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think they said for the first couple of weeks. So this might be a couple week thing for Icon, but we'll see. I mean, he's beaten, top tier players, and he's also, lost to some lesser, players as you would. So, I think he can go anywhere. You can go anywhere with Icon. You never know. I think he's got
Yeah.
definitely the potential, and we'll see how that goes for that.
I think Zeroshio and Ron Mexico is a really hyped 2 seed match. I'm really
Mhm.
interested to see how that goes. Both of those players very good, and then honestly 3 through 5, I have to say are all going to the Pod People. I just think they have a good advantage just across the board, other than in that 2 seed. And I think the 1 seed was also quite close, although Arhat certainly started it off with a bang with this 3-0 sweep with
Yeah,
Fuel.
wow.
That's
I might
a
have
big
to.
result.
I hope Fuel's not out for vengeance tonight because I'm playing
No.
him at 11 o'clock after this. So we'll see. Maybe I can get that sweep as well and make Fuel feel really bad today.
Yeah, I don't know about the Force seed. I think Force of Will and Crackshot's going to be good too. I don't
Mhm.
want to give that to
Well,
Crack right away. I mean, he's
I all I can say is I know that Crackshot is playing in Pro Series this season, and he's putting in some effort to play well, and I think that I mean I just have a little bit more confidence in him than I have in Force of Will. I think that like Crackshot's been a very consistent player in the seasons that I've seen him. He pretty consistently goes like 5-4, 6-3, and even though like Force of Will had a very good season last season, in the past he's had some pretty unfortunate performances, to say the least, and I'm just a little less confident in him. Although I do think that could go either way.
Yeah, I think he did really well last season in the 4, but
Mhm.
you know, I think the season before maybe not quite as well. So we'll see if he can keep that up. Let's anything that stand out here with the classes at all to you guys before we go down, and I'll have everyone give me their guesses for the you know the 2 to 5 seed here now, since we already have the result for the 1 seed.
Yeah, Legacy series is wide open right now. Like the
Mhm.
classes are all over the place. Every class's representation. I think at least 2 people brought every like no class was a solo or no bringers, which is not the same as past seasons of THL. And that goes for both series, I think, Hero and Legacy. So it's really interesting. I want to see how this shakes out. I honestly don't know. Like, I don't think I could confidently say what the 4 best classes are right now, and that's a really exciting
Yeah.
thing to say.
I agree, and I think, I mean, every class every class has at least 2 or more different decks you could bring, minus maybe Warlock. I think when you bring Warlock, you're probably bringing Zoo, but other than that, I think all the other classes have
Avi
multiple decks you can bring.
would disagree with you there, but I don't want to reveal his strategies.
Oh, we got to. I want to see this.
um, but I do want to say the class I thought I would see the least of is Mage, and I see 2 right now. Mage and Rogue, I think. Rogue obviously always has its place. Like, it's just, you know, just the tempo Rogue is always going to be good. And then it also has the Quest Rogue, which is, you know, playable. I haven't played too much of it, but I think those were the 2 that I think I was going to see the least of, and we see 2 of each of them here. So definitely, like you said, a lot of representation. Um, any other thoughts, Blue, or anybody?
Yeah, I think Mage has some really good matchups though. That's why you bring it. You don't look
Mhm.
at the overall rating. I mean, Mage is good versus Paladin and Druid. So like, you know,
Right. I think that works better for Hero though, where you can sort of target a specific deck with Mage or something. You can bring Mage to, and you don't have to play
yeah.
it if you don't need to place that matchup as much, or play that matchup. You don't have to play it. So
Yeah, and I
um,
don't know if you guys have seen, but Mage can Exodia once again.
Yeah.
If you drop a couple of Dwarven Archaeologists, Augmented Elec, then you play the Body Wrapper, and you shuffle in reduced cost Sorcerer's Apprentices. I pulled
wow,
it off. If
you
you're
pulled it
really
off.
feeling spicy and like losing your THL match, you can bring Exodia Mage.
That was a good argument to bring it. If you're feeling spicy and want to lose, bring Mage, bring
Yeah.
Exodia Mage. All right, so I'll have Avi start off here. Just give me your predictions for each. Just tell me, you know, who wins each one from the 2 to the 5 seed here, and then give me your overall prediction for the final result of the match.
So I'm gonna have to go with Ron Mexico winning the 2. I think Wicked Good takes the 3. I think Crackshot takes the 4, and I think Dire Despair takes the 5 seed. So that would leave it at a 4-1 for Pod People to prep. And I don't quite feel comfortable predicting any game match scores in there though. So
That's fine. Yeah, no, I just wanted that. So that was perfect. How about you, Desharmo?
I'm gonna have to go with my boy Zeroshio in the 2, and then I'd have to go. I don't know. This is tough because Icon actually beat Smear last year when he played him earlier in the season. Smear only had 2
Mhm.
losses, but I haven't seen Icon prep much, so I'm not 100% sure. So I'm gonna have to go with Wicked Good in the 3, Crackshot in the 4, and Dire Bear in the 5. I'm giving it a full sweep with the pod people.
Wow. And Blue, what about you?
I think it's gonna be 4-1. I think the one person on prep who wins is Ron Mexico. Um, Before the 1 seed match, I would have said Fuel takes it too, But now that that match is in, I think Pod people likely take it 4-1. If not, that means Forceful won and it's 3-2. But either way, Pod people wins this one.
Yeah. I think I'm on a similar sort of idea here. I think Ron Mexico wins. I think Wicked Good wins. I think the 4 seed could go either way, but I'm gonna give it to Crackshot, and then I think Direst Bear takes that. I also think the 3 seed could go either way because Icon always kind of sometimes surprises there, and I do think when we all vote against him, he'll prep harder and try his best here to win. So with us, all of us saying Wicked Good, I could definitely see him actually winning it. More so
Yeah.
than if we sort of sided with him. I think he would feel a little bit
It-
too comfortable, you know?
Icon's ready for his anime protagonist role now.
Yeah, exactly.
Does somebody want to like clip this and send it to him so he can start prepping in his room deep into the night?
Yeah, we'll
Take
see
a
like
potato chip and eat it.
a montage of him lifting, Red Bulls and clicking on his mouse. Um, yeah, so we'll see. But I do think it also goes to Pod here. Especially with this start, I agree. I would have said Fuel takes it, but I would have said it was close, and this was not close, and it was Hat who takes it. So, anything can happen. Um, but yeah, so I think we all predicted Pod wins, and let's move on to the next Gold Conference match here.
I believe it's Bejas and the Stubbs.
Yes.
Ooh, that's a big match.
All right, so Abejas versus DeStubbs. A lot of us did rate Abejas pretty high. I know Blue, you said they were S tier, so I kind of want to hear from you first. Do they live up to their S tier here? Do they take the sweep? How do they do? Give me the
Yeah,
match results all the
so-
way across the board.
I don't know if I'd call it a confident sweep here. I think the 1 seed has 2 strong players, and it can really go either way. I think the Rogue is probably better here than Paladin, so I'd give the edge to Snake.
Mhm.
I think Booze definitely takes the 2. I think Mako definitely takes the 3. And I think Ghost takes the 4. And then I would probably give the 5 to Shinsui. So I guess that's 4-1 Abejas then. Just losing in the 5.
All right. Anything stand out for here? We do see some rogues like we saw before. A couple of paladins, warrior,
Yeah.
shaman, and hunter, and priest seem to be, I think, the 4 most popular, but a couple of other things thrown in there. Druid as well.
Yeah, well, we see Warlock from comp, which is pretty
Mhm.
interesting, but I don't think it's great here against Ghost's lineup.
Yeah.
I like that Abejas brought 4 shamans. It's probably my favorite class right now.
I'm gonna
So
have to agree with you, man.
I'm happy to see that.
I think personally looking through this, I would have to say like the most lopsided matchup looks like Ghost versus Comp to me. I think that Ghost is the one player I feel confident in saying will take his match. And I think Booze also has a significant advantage here, but not quite as much. But I would say he takes the 2 seed, and then 1 seed's really close. I think I'll go with Shim Jim, but like that could go either way. 3 seed also very close. I'm gonna like I guess I'll go with Mako, but it's like 1 and 3 seed are extremely close, and I think 5 seed, like I would hesitantly give it to Shunsui, but it's like again not confident in that. But I think 3-2 for a base in match score is like something I think that's likely to happen. I think they take the 2 and 4, and then one of the other 3.
And Desharma, what do you think here?
I'm gonna agree with a lot of the comments that you guys have made. I think the for sure ones for me are 2-star Mako in the 3. I think he takes it over Chronic, and Shunsui in the 5 for sure over Silver. I believe that's his name. I don't think you should underestimate Osmonaut, man. He's been around a while, and he is a good player. Um, so I'm actually gonna go with the upset and Osmonaut over Booze, and then I'm actually gonna take Slim Jim or Slim Jim Shim Jim over Snake. So I'm gonna give it to Stubbs 3-2 over Abejas. Really close match.
Wow. All right. And then I think I'm gonna agree with the 1 being close, and I think the 3 being close. I do think Ghost takes it. I think Shunsui takes it, but I don't know much about Silver, so um, anything could happen there. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes the other way. I do, from what I know about Shunsui, I think he's a pretty powerful 5 seed. I know he takes it quite seriously. He loves to duel. So, um, and then I think Booze and Osmonaut. I do think Booze takes it, but I think it's gonna be closer than, I think yeah, some people are expecting. So I will say yes. So Booze takes it, Ghost takes it. So that's 2-1 with Shunsui taking it, and then I'm gonna give it to Mako just barely, and then I think Snake actually takes the
So
the
4-1.
one. So that's 4-1 for the Bejas. But I think a lot of those are going to be very close matches, and I could see it going the other way. Any other thoughts here before we jump to the Red Conference?
Oh, I think it's
Nope.
going to be a good match.
Yeah. All right. So next up, we have in the Red Conference, we have Hearthstone and Chill versus Dirty Mike and the Boys. So I think both of these teams were our fringe 4, I think, in the Red. Like 4th place team as far as like we'll make playoffs, one of them, but we're not sure which. So this will be a big match, I think, in determining maybe who of them will come out on top. So let's see. What do you think here, Avi?
Well, I think where I'm confident in Hearthstone and Chills, their 1 through 3 seeds, I think are all very strong. And if Dirty Mike and the Boys take any of those, though, I think they will win the match. But I think that Hearthstone and Chill is favored in the top 3, and will have a very tough time in the 4 and 5. So I think Dirty Mike and the Boys take the 4 and 5 seeds, and I think Hearthstone and Chill takes the top 3. That said, I think like the bottom 2 are a lot better matchups for DMB than the top 3 are for Hearthstone and Chill. So I could easily see it being 3-2 Dirty Mike and the Boys, but I'll go for a hesitant 3-2 Hearthstone and Chill. Very interesting matchup.
All right, and how about you, Blue? What do you think looking at this?
So the first thing I noticed is 5 druids from Dirty Mike.
Yeah.
So that's pretty interesting. I don't personally love druid, but I can definitely see why they all brought it along with warrior. So going down, I think Tony takes the 1 over Shadow Ranger. I think the 2 seed's really close, but I think Pond has an edge, so I'll give it to him. But it is very close. And then Catman, I think, takes 3, and then Icy and Leffy take the 4 and 5. So that's 3-2 Dirty Mike, I think.
Mhm.
But then the 2 seed could easily be won by Sturlo, so it's either 3-2 or 4-1, but I'll say 3-2.
All right, and Desharma?
Well, I gotta say, three of these players are on my pro team: Shadow Ranger, Catman, and Brushy Tuna. So I gotta go with my boys: Shadow Ranger over Tony. And I gotta go. I gotta
They're
pick
playing
between
each other.
yeah, Catman and Brushy. For me, I gotta pick somebody. I'm gonna go with Catman just from the PR only. I think Hearthstone and Chill up 2. I think Surlos is gonna surprise Pond. And I think Lefty is going to take the 5. So I think it's going to come down to the 4. It's me and Mike and Icy Finney, and I think Icy Finney takes it. So I'm going to say Dirty Mike 3-2 over Hearthstone and Chill. Very close match, with the key match being the 4.
Yeah, I think the 4 is actually going to be closer than we expect. I know I've seen It's Me Mike V in qualifiers earlier in like last season. I saw him doing some qualifiers. I don't know how well he ended up doing, but I did see him playing them. So definitely an active player in that regard. At least he was. I know he played last season as well. I don't know how well it went, but a lot of people have not the best first seasons. It's definitely a new sort of format. People aren't used to the closed deck list, so maybe a season of that he could be improving there. So I wouldn't count him out. But I do think it is a little favored for Icy Finney there. I think Lefty will take the 5. I think I'm gonna give it to Catman in the 3, I think Pond in the 2, and then I'm gonna give it to Shadow Ranger. So I'm going the same way. I'm going 3-2 Hearthstone and Chill. I think that's what Avi said as well. With the top 3 sort of determining
Ooh.
Hearthstone and Chill taking it.
Early match
Oh.
result, Catman just took it over Brushy Tuna, so
All right.
that's
Oh, I
I
predicted that.
think our overall prediction for that match, but certainly puts Hearthstone and Chill in a slightly better position because I think that was far from a clear match result.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that was one of the more contested matches there, and I think sort of like what you said, if Dirty Mike and the boys takes one of the top 3, then they're in a good position there to win. So they didn't manage there, but 2 more matches there to kind of potentially swing it in their favor. Any other thoughts on this match before we jump to the next Red Conference match?
No, sir.
All right. So we have, as the second match, we have Tap Last versus Misfits. So I think a lot of us had Misfits at you both had them in the D tier, right? But still, it's a potential there. I know Kel had them in the top 4. So this would be a big win for the Misfits if they manage it against another one of the top 4 teams, at least that most of us had in Tap Last. It's actually, I think, in Kel's predictions, he said he got rid of Tap Last in the top 4 and put in the Misfits, where the rest of us, I think, had Tap Last in there, and then a 4th team that wasn't the Misfits. So let's see if he can put his money where his mouth is. What do you guys think is going to happen here in these top 4 seeds? Let's start with Avi again.
Yeah, honestly, I think Triss has an advantage in the 1 seed. I mean, I don't know Inspire. Inspire might be a very good player. Certainly, these people who come in with 500 PR are often some of the strongest players in TH. Like Daravis came in with 500 PR. Like coming in with 500 PR is certainly a good sign. And so I won't count Inspire. In fact, I'll leave that as a kind of 50-50 here. Just very hard for me to tell where that'll go. But Triss is a very good player, and I think he has a good chance of taking that no matter how good Inspire is. And I have to give it to Base over Cal. I think Base is just a player. Like he's just very mechanically skilled and has been playing a lot more of the game in like the last year or so that as he was beforehand. I know he kind of like changed his PR early on when he didn't really know what he was doing and has kind of been bringing it back from there. And then don't know Icicles. Dukas came into the THL chat, so I'll give him the edge for no particular reason. Honestly, could go either way. And then I think Ducharmo's a little bit better than Anfall. I just think like Ducharmo's pretty much a 1 seed and Anfall is kind of like maybe a 2 seed player, but both like ridiculous players in the 4 seed.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
although I'm giving it to Ducharmo, it could go either way. So I think I'm predicting like a 4-1 Tap Last, but honestly, maybe a 3-2 Tap Last, but I think Tap Last does take it here for sure.
Yeah, it does look like the Misfits are in agreement here with their classes, so we'll see if that works out. At least the middle seeds all brought Paladin, Priest, Shaman, Warrior, which I think is definitely a solid lineup. We'll see how it works out. Chewbacca went a totally different way than his team and didn't really work out, but he faced an almost identical lineup except for Shaman versus Warlock. But yeah, let's hear from Blue. What do you think for the top 4 seeds here?
Yeah, so again, Icicle coming in at 500 PR is pretty scary, but then again, I don't know a single thing about him, and I do know a good amount about Triss, and I know that Triss is really strong, and based on classes, I'd give it to Triss, so I'll give the 1 seed to Triss, because I like the Paladin and Rogue there.
Mm-hmm.
The 2 seed, again, is close, but I think Base takes it with that Hunter. The 3 seed, I'll give to Dukas. Though that does also look really close. They have incredibly similar lineups, but the warrior is like a really, really powerful class to not have. So
Mhm.
I think Dukas takes it for that reason. I think Ducharmo can pretty easily take the 4 seed, and then the 5 seed it's already happened. So I guess that's 4-1 tap blast.
All right, and Ducharmo with as little bias as possible.
You really want me to? Okay, I'm just joking. I'm actually gonna not cast a curse myself, and I'm gonna say that I lose to Anvil, the 3-2.
Wow, how did you know I was gonna vote for you?
Oh man, jeez, some heat. Uh, yeah, I don't know. This week is gonna determine whether or not if I didn't bring Warrior was a mistake or not. So we'll see. I have a plan, and we'll see if that plan works. If it doesn't, then it doesn't. And we move on and we go to the next one. But so I'm gonna go. All of my teams win their match 3-0, and I'm gonna lose my match 3-2.
All right. No bias at all.
Well, I mean, Volkai already won 3-0, so
So you just want to keep the trend going. I
yeah.
got you. All right. I'm gonna say for me the 1 seed is the closest, I think, out of these. The 1 and the 4 look the closest to me. I do think just without knowing anything about Inspire, I'm gonna go with Triss, but honestly, he could come out swinging and take that one. I think Base wins the 2. I think Icicles wins the 3. That one I'm not too sure either, but and then I think Ducharmo takes the 4. So
Are you sure? You
yeah,
sure you don't
no, I'm
want to pick
sure.
Anvil over
I
me?
think you take it. You kept me from caster cursing you, so now I can freely
But
give it to
but
you.
I didn't get to play you last season, man. That was like our match, and then you got scared and put a sub in place.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm sorry about that. I just saw you coming. I was like, I can't do it. The sub was Pond, wasn't it actually?
Yeah, it was
So
fun.
yeah. But yeah, so I think the ones that could go either way for me are Triss and Inspire and Desharma and Fall, but I think it's going to go to you. So I think I actually said that was 5-0, but could also be 3-2. So yeah, let's. Any other thoughts on this one before we jump to the final match we're going to be covering here? I know Avi has to go soon. He's got his match, so we'll try to get this done as soon as possible.
I will say, fittingly, Man at Arms has just joined the chat. An Anoyo team member with his hello.
Hello,
you,
hello,
Dano.
hello.
I appreciate it, Dano. Your lack of faith in me is awesome.
That's what you like to see.
On
Yes.
to the matchup between
The conference, the cross-conference highlight match. So we did mention this earlier. We are going to have a cross-conference match every week. I'd like to highlight it because I think it's going to be really interesting how these different
this matchup is so hype. Holy
conferences
crap.
match up. And these are 2 teams that we had rated highly. So
Oh, that's so
this is a
unlucky for
nut.
both of them. They have to
This is
play
a
each other in the
nut.
cross conference match.
This is
yeah,
no
the
nut.
cross-conference can go any which way, and this is a tough one to start
gracious.
with. So we'll see how it goes. We have the Saturday Night Pain Gang, the runner-ups last year versus Roundtable, who we all said was a powerful looking team. So yeah, let's hear your thoughts here on this match, Avi.
Yeah, so oh my goodness, Coles versus Lotus Knight in the 1 seed? That's a ridiculous match.
You can't pick like they just explode and like nothing happens. That's what's gonna happen.
They're playing the same classes too. I have nothing to decide off of. Well, let's go through the rest of them. Okay, Itachi versus Sande. I think I'm gonna give a slight edge to Itachi just based on his performance last season. Like I think he did insanely well. Sande also a very strong player though. It's hard to vote against him in the 2 seed, but I think in this Itachi's one of the few players that would make me do so. Freeloader versus Apex. I think I have to give the edge to Freeloader. I think he's just like slightly stronger in the 3 seed. I think Freeloader's generally like a 2 seed player. And I think Apex is generally, well, 3 or
Sorry.
2 seed, but I think Freeloader's a bit better. Super Murloc versus Dark Seed, I think I give the edge to Dark Seed. And then Copper Talon versus Rage Apple, I give the edge to Copper Talon. And then Lotus Knight versus Coles is kind of the decider, I guess. It's 2 and 2 otherwise. And I think that's where I'm at with the match. It's just a coin flip in the one. Well, it'd be really interesting to see how that works out.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely excited. Hopefully I don't know, I don't think we have that one on stream, but if they are playing at a stream time, please let Donde know, because that would be, I mean, I guess Coles is on Donde's team, so he should know. But
Donde will let himself know.
yeah, let yourself know. But that would be hype to see, especially if it's like Sunday night match, after everyone else has played. It's 2-2 like our predictions, and it's just down to that last one. But let me, before I assume what you guys are thinking, let's hear from Blue here. What do you think?
Yeah, so this 1 seed is just. It's probably one of the best matches we're going to get all season. Like 2 550 PR players in a mirror matchup is just. I want to watch this matchup. It's really hard for me to give it to either player. I just think whoever Hearthstone's better, that one specific match wins it. I'll biasedly give it to Lotus Knight because he's on my hero team, but
At least you're
Coles
honest.
could so easily take that. 2 seed, I like Donde's classes more, so I think I'll give it to Donde there. 3 seed, I'm gonna give to Freeloader, although that is also really close. 4 seed, I'll say Dark Side takes it, and then the 5 is also close, but I think I like Copper's lineup more, so I'll give it to Copper. And so I think I have SPG 3-2 there. But it's really close. Like, it could even be 3-2 with all the 5 matches going the other way. This is a really great matchup.
Yeah, absolutely. And how about you, Sharmo?
I'm gonna do a wild prediction here and say that this match ends in a tie.
Ooh.
I think Serenite Pain Gang does have 3 matches over 2 from Roundtable, but I think it ends in a tie, man. I think like 12-12.
Wow. So you're saying like the wins on SPG are 3-2s, and then the wins on the round table are 3-0s, but they
Yes.
only have 2 of them. Wow.
I think
I
Itachi
think that's
3-0s.
how that works.
I think Itachi
Wow.
3-0s, and I think Copper Talon probably 3-0s. That's
Those
where I
are
would guess.
some bold predictions. All right. Yeah. I mean, I guess I'm gonna say I think the 1 seed's super close. I'm gonna give it to Lotus Knight just to give it to somebody. I really think it could go either way. Donde versus Itachi, again, super close. I'm gonna lean towards Donde just because he's another one of our caster buddies, so a little bit of favoritism. And then
Did
I'm
I
gonna
just
say
get myself
Freeloader.
fired by saying Donde is gonna get swept?
No. That he would never. He's a
Yeah.
great head of content. There's
I
nothing
regret
he
to
would
inform
never.
you that
Are you
Tusharma will
are you
not be stream
kissing?
hopping again
Are you kissing
Sharma will
butt?
not be here next week.
due to unforeseen circumstances. He's been removed from position.
Oh my
He
god.
decided to resign of his own accord.
Oh man, guys, I'm resigning right now. I'm sorry.
I think the third match also close. I'm gonna lean towards Freeloader there though. In the 4 seed, I'm gonna lean towards Dark Side, and then Copper Talon in the 5. So I think that was 3-2 Serenade Pain Gang, but I think it could go either way. I am not confident in any of my choices for this one. I think anyone can come out here on top, and maybe it will come out as a tie. So we'll see. If it does come out as a tie, you can stay on, Desharma. How about that?
All right, I'll stay on. I'll keep
All right,
stream
perfect. All right, sounds good. Awesome. Any other thoughts about this match? Before we do a couple of questions for the guests and finish up here for tonight.
Yeah, audience members, if you have any questions for the guests, throw them out. We can get some good questions in for you guys. I just said audience members, like it's a live
Yeah, the
studio
audience members. Yeah, the live studio audience. We got the clap,
Yeah.
like flasher thing that tells everyone to clap or laugh or
Yeah.
just the blinking light. So everybody, this is the time to laugh, right?
And you got the boo thing going on whenever DeSharmo talks. So
He's like the villain of the show.
I know, right? I got the long beard growing, so I'm fitting the billet right now.
Yeah, you're building it.
Yeah, and I got the Metallica shirt here. Yeah.
Yeah, the villain brand. I like it.
Yeah.
Cool. What's is this a question here? Pond, who gains 100 PR this season? Is that a question?
Looks like a question.
I think that's a question.
I mean, is that to us or like about us, about the guests, or is it in general anyone in the entire league?
I mean, it has to be Lefty, right? Like
Lefty, I'm gonna go with Lefty too, man. Lefty gains 100.
there's no way.
Pond just says yeah. That didn't answer my question.
Yeah.
But
pretty much.
Yes
who
or
in the
no?
league? Okay.
It's like what's
Okay.
Just one
yes
of
or
those
no?
things.
Yes or no?
Okay.
Both.
I gotcha. So yeah, I think Lefty's a good call. Who else could I see?
Me, I'm gaining 200 PR.
Invisible PR. Yeah, sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Who
Daravis
else?
is gaining 100 PR.
Who else is super like low seated for their ability? 100 PR is
There's
gonna
there's
be.
just few guys who are
I'm gonna
really
lose
low.
100 PR.
Myanodon and Ducharmo, I think.
Sharmo could definitely
Did I say those right? Those two players I think are really underseeded right now, so maybe they'll be able to make up some PR.
I think Avis is gonna be on the show next week.
Yeah, he's really sucking up to the
I know,
powers
I mean,
that
he's
be.
gonna be a permanent caster next week. So
Dude, I
in.
want to get on streaming. I need to find more people who are willing to like hop on and co-op with me at like 9 a.m. on a Sunday when I decide I want to stream.
I mean, I'm definitely down to co-op with you, but I don't know about 9 a.m. on a Sunday. Sunday in general, not a good day for me. It's football
When did
season.
I ask last time? It was
Yeah,
some weird morning. Oh, it was Saturday morning, wasn't it?
I'm up Sunday 9 a.m. because I'm a teacher, and it doesn't matter if I want to sleep in. I wake up early in the morning every day. I hate it. It takes me like 2 months
Oof.
to get out of my schedule.
I've been getting on the 10 p.m. going to sleep for the most part because I have an 8 a.m. orgo class.
Why did you pick that
4
one?
out of the 5 days.
Those big freshman year classes, they always get you.
These bags tell me that I don't go to sleep early enough. I need to go to bed early.
We got another question here. If you were to change any cards right now, which ones would you change? Does anyone want to answer that one? Their opinion there. That's from Lotus.
I don't know what cards would change. I think in terms of Hall of Fame, I want Wild Paramancer gone. I just hate that card so much. Maybe like High Priest Ahmet. That card is just nuts, and it's kind of single-handedly making Priest good. And while Priest does need something to be good, Ahmet is just a bonkers card. So maybe I'd go with that.
I'd go with I think we need to Hall of Fame Mountain Giant and revert the nerf that they did to Conjurer's Calling back to 3 mana. I think that should have been done. I'm tired of Mountain Giants on 3.
The nerf, the buff, what I wanted was buff Grave Horror to 11 mana. But I think that would have solved the problem. Really cool.
The buff Grave Horror. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it's technically it's a nerf to the conj, but a buff to the Grave Horror.
And I want to see priest decks that aren't just Inner Fire Priest, because I feel like Met and Grave Horror don't really go together well. So like deciding which one of those really powerful cards you want to take advantage of would be interesting. Like it would make for a more diverse meta.
Oh, we're getting some questions, man. Wow.
My favorite team is the Wet Boys because out of all the teams, they're the most moist.
And they have a good saying, "Do you want to get wet?"
Do you want to
Yeah.
get
Also, like, I don't know if any other teams have a card that was actually named after them. Like a Noyo team, I don't think there's any cards that are related to that. But
No.
Wet Boys have the card Water Boy, which reduces your hero
Right.
power to 0 mana. So that's like a really iconic card from Hearthstone's history.
Really
that
iconic.
makes our team stand out.
Unrelated
Yeah.
to any other
Uh,
thing at all. Really just about your team there.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've never heard of Bobby Boucher or anything like that, or any Adam Sandler movies at all.
and you said you
Not
watch
that-
foosball on Sundays too, right?
Foosball, yeah, foosball, yes.
That was a dad joke right
Gentleman
there.
sport.
100% dad joke right there.
You nailed it. I'm into it. My favorite team, as far as names and logo, it'd have to be a Bejas. I just think that it's just funny. I don't know why, but
Because you
it's
can
just
imagine someone just yelling, "A Bejas!" Just like
yeah,
real.
it's good. It's good, and he's even got the exclamation
Yeah.
points upside down to start, like in Spanish. It's well done. It's well done.
We need to make an award at the end of the year, the most annoying team.
Making words Spanish. That's not what I said. Okay, do not take what I'm saying out of context. It's specifically just that team name. Oh my God, now I'm at it. Okay, maybe it does make it a little funny.
No,
and
I genuinely mean that. I just laugh.
I'm just saying,
stuff like in
next year our team's going to be called Los Chicos Mojados. So,
Yes, we will.
and let me get my next slide ready. We're going to be talking about specialists for the next hour, so get ready for
Right.
that.
Ooh, that's
Yeah,
my
yeah.
favorite format. How do you
Yeah,
know?
We're talking about specialists and why it's the best format, how we want
And
it to
why
come back.
Blizzard should
And
bring
just
it
so you
back,
guys know,
objectively.
we're switching Tavern Talk to Specialist Talk next week.
Yeah.
So get ready for that.
We got another question here before we jump into that, extensive PowerPoint that we've started. Which single deck type do you think will score the most wins for week 1? So I think you mean class by that. I don't know about
I think he means archetype.
archetype.
Like which specific deck? Like for
Like a
example,
specific, we can't
like
know
a
that
Ranger,
though.
for
We can get statistics on the actual class though, right?
I
We
mean,
yeah,
don't
we
know
won't
what decks
actually
people
know
bring.
for the deck, but I guess just which one do we think is gonna be the most successful?
and
Priest. I think Priest
You
is
know-
either going to get banned or get a win in almost every matchup that it's in.
so if you say priest, you mean combo priest, because that's really the only viable priest
Right.
deck.
I mean, it's combo Priest. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you there. I don't like the deck. It's not my play style, but it's a good deck.
It's an incredible deck. I mean, people in GM were complaining about it being best of one because people just play their priest or
Mhm.
it gets banned, or they protect their priest and then they have the priest mirror. Whoever wins that, the next game is the priest and does something else. So they win that one, and then it's just a best of one for whatever decks they have left. So, definitely, I think a very, very overpowered deck, especially in a format like the Shielded Conquest, where you can protect it. But we'll see. I mean, they're definitely coming up with new ideas to maybe counter it a little bit, but even countering it doesn't always work.
I'm just
So
tired
that's
of priest
the
being
tough
the
part.
divine spirit inner fire thing. I just want that to go away.
Yeah.
And buff some of their other cards.
What about you, Avi? What archetype?
Oh, I'm getting ready for my legacy match or my hero match.
Yeah, we're like 30 minutes past.
We
when
are
we're supposed
getting
to
our
go.
screenshots done right now, so
Oh, no worries.
I'm a little out of it.
Alright.
You're good.
Man, you're gonna miss
Blue?
that PowerPoint, dude.
Yeah, I guess in terms of like win rate percentage, because I think that's the best way to score like most successful deck. I think whoever brings Highlander Paladin is gonna have a good time.
You love your Highlander Paladin, man. It gave me a
I
hard
love it.
time in prep for sure when I was playing you in the World Cup. it definitely gave me a big headache, and I definitely understand where you're coming from. It is a weird deck, and it actually, for some reason, I look at it, it doesn't look good, and then
Boom.
it does things, and it's like, wow, this actually is very annoying.
Have you seen the new mid-range Highlander Paladin? Like not Holy Wrath, it's just like
Yeah,
curved
that's
death
Yeah.
rattle minion.
Yeah, no, that's the one I've been playing.
Oh,
that's
that
what
is.
you've been playing.
Hey,
Yeah.
you never want to underestimate Blue's decks because his deck won, Legacy Championship last season. His Shaman, like, basically just, you know, helped win
Yeah,
the Warriors.
Cole's crushed it with his Battlecry Shaman in the World Cup. So there's definitely potential for new decks to really come out and do some big things. I'm really interested to see if anyone brings that as their shaman here.
hmm Yeah, I mean, it's really interesting, especially in this type of format, when it's closed deck list and people prep for something, and then you bring something sort of out of left field that they didn't prep for, didn't play against. It can really that surprise factor even can give you those extra percentage points in the win rate there. So yeah, I could see something crazy like that. I don't know how many people are actually bringing that deck, so I don't know what the win count or percentage will be, but um, maybe something we'll see in the future. So, any other questions did we get? I think that's it. So we'll finish up here so we can let Avi get to his match here. But yeah, just the last minute notes here. We have upcoming events this weekend. We have on Friday, it's me and Saku casting Friday Night Fights. At 8 p.m. we have, for the Pro Series, we have Pond for Dr. Boom Shakalaka against Brushy Tuna for the Unknown. Two players we actually did talk about briefly earlier today. And then at 9 p.m. Eastern Time for both of these, we have the Hero match, Super Murloc of the Cult versus Electabuzz of Team No Pros Here. So a new team already starting off, I think, strong. So we'll see.
Yeah,
Definitely two
No
good
Pros
matches
here
to-
has taken 2 match wins off the Colts, and we're heading into a match now. It's been 2-3-2, so very close. But the Colt, probably one of the stronger teams, unbiased as a member of the team heading into this season. So yeah, that's an exciting match as well.
Yeah, and good luck to you. And one more announcement at 11 p.m. So in about an hour and a half, it's going to be the World Cup Finals. It's going to be on stream here. It's me versus Fuel for the final match of the World Cup. So tune in for that as well. I'm not sure about casters for that one, but I'm sure Donde will announce that in the Discord. So thanks for joining us. Any last words, everybody, here before we say goodbye?
I'm heading to my match. Adios.
Good luck.
And my match will not be streamed on. Sorry.
That's okay.
Maybe next time.
Anyway, good luck.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Bye-bye.
Hello.
Stay
Hello.
wet.
Hello.
Hello.
Stay moist.